Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Israel says deal reached to receive bodies of 4 Gaza hostages. Hamas to hand over Israeli hostages' bodies. US-Ukraine agree on critical minerals deal. President Zelensky expected to visit US later this week to sign the deal. And Taiwan dispatches military to counter surprise Chinese live fire drills. Egyptian mediators have brokered a deal to swap Palestinian prisoners for the bodies of 4 Israeli hostages. The office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed that an agreement has been reached with mediators for the return of the bodies of 4 Israeli hostages held in Gaza. Tensions rose when Hamas accused Israel of jeopardizing the Gaza truce by delaying prisoner releases. Since the January 19 ceasefire, Hamas has freed 25 Israeli hostages in public ceremonies. Now, these ceremonies have sparked criticism from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who called them humiliating. The Red Cross has urged all parties to conduct prisoner exchanges privately and with dignity. While both sides have accused each other of violating the ceasefire, it has largely held since coming into effect. Meanwhile, thousands of Israelis gathered in Rishon LeZion city on Wednesday to honor Shiri Bibas and her 2 young sons during their funeral procession on Wednesday. Shiri and her children were kidnapped during the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7, 2023. Israel's army radio reported last week that Bibas and the kids were likely killed while in captivity.
I've come here to pay my respect to the Bibas family, Ariel, Kfir and Shiri, that were murdered in captivity. It's a very tragic and unfathomable event. It's horrific, and it's something that is very difficult to come to terms with. And it's the little bit that we can do to try and show our solidarity with the family.
Members of the Israeli parliament observed a minute of silence to mourn the deaths of 3 members of Bibas' family on Wednesday. Syrian leader Ahmad al-Shara arrived in Jordan on Wednesday to meet King Abdullah and discuss boosting ties between the neighboring countries. Shara is expected to hold wide-ranging talks with Jordan's king over border security and ways of expanding commercial ties. The visit marks al-Shara's 3rd foreign trip after Saudi Arabia and Turkey since he came to power after the fall of the Assad regime in Syria. The US and Ukraine have agreed on the terms of a draft minerals deal central to Kiev's push to win Washington's support as President Donald Trump seeks to rapidly end the conflict with Russia. A report.
The United States and Ukraine have reached a deal providing access to the European country's rare earth minerals and other natural resources. At the White House, US President Donald Trump has said Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky wants to come to Washington on Friday to sign a very big deal. This came after the 2 leaders exchanged hostile words last week.
Is it true that President Zelensky is coming on Friday to meet with you, and is the mineral deal sorted out?
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that he's coming on Friday. Certainly, it's okay with me if he'd like to, and he would like to sign it together with me, and I understand that's a big deal, very big deal. And I think the American people, even if you look at polling, they're very happy because, you know, Biden was throwing money around like it's cotton candy, and it's a very big deal. Look, it could be $1 trillion deal, it could be whatever, but it's rare earths and other things. And look, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars on Ukraine and Russia fighting. a war that should have never, ever happened. That's a war that would have never happened if I were president.
The deal would see the United States jointly develop Ukraine's mineral wealth, with revenues going to a newly created fund that would be joint for Ukraine and America. As Zelensky said, Ukraine had Europe's largest reserves of titanium, essential for the aviation and space industry, and uranium, used for nuclear energy and weapons. Now let us know why rare earth minerals are important. 17 silvery white rare earth minerals are not uncommon in the Earth's crust. Deposits that are economically viable are more difficult to find. The complex process separates materials for permanent magnets used in critical products. Russia has proposed to the Trump administration a potential agreement under which the United States would gain some ownership of rare earth minerals. The Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said on Tuesday that Russia had lots of rare earth metal deposits and that it was open to doing deal to develop them. Earlier, Putin also said that Russia was open to joint projects with American partners, including the government and the private sectors, under a future Russia-US economic deal. Bureau Report, DD India.
The United States and Russia are preparing for expert-level talks to follow up on a high-level meeting held last week in a call between the heads of both countries. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov reiterated that US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin will meet in person after thorough preparation, but said that there were no details yet on when and where this would happen. Separately, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that diplomats from Moscow and Washington, D.C. will meet in Istanbul on Thursday to discuss the work of their embassies. French President Emmanuel Macron held a video conference with European Union leaders on Wednesday to discuss his recent meeting with US President Donald Trump earlier this week. The discussion comes ahead of an extraordinary EU summit scheduled for March 6th regarding additional support for Ukraine and European security guarantees. Macron and Trump had met earlier this week to address Ukraine's concerns. With ongoing geopolitical tensions, the upcoming summit is expected to decide on Europe's next steps on Ukraine and other security and defense issues. Now, over to Europe, where Ukraine is on the verge of signing a minerals deal with the US. A deal like this would see some security protection for Ukraine after US President Donald Trump completely turned the country's Ukraine policy around. For more on this development, let's speak to Varda Imran, DW correspondent in Berlin. Varda, we know that the deal is not signed yet, but what's on the table?
Thanks for having me. This deal has been in the works for a long time. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky first proposed it late last year. The idea is to allow the U.S. access to Ukraine's rare earths and other valuable minerals worth trillions of euros, which are crucial for developing EV batteries, nuclear power, smartphones, and other electronic gadgets. So the minerals include, namely, lithium, titanium, graphite, all of which Ukraine has. How much is still a question. Ksenia Orenchak of Kyiv's National Extractive Industry Association told DW in a recent interview that titanium, graphite, and lithium have the strongest potential in Ukraine, but that there needs to be more of a recent assessment of the quantities. The reason this deal is almost done now is because the U.S. dropped a crucial demand, which was a promise of $500 billion in potential revenue from Ukraine. Kiev was seeking a military or security assistance, and we have to see how strongly, if at all, the U.S. includes that aspect in this deal. Many of these valuable minerals are present in Russian-occupied territories of Ukraine. Reportedly, Moscow has offered Washington access to these minerals.
Okay, all this comes, Varda, while the US is signaling a move towards Russia. How is the European Union viewing this?
Yes, I think it's a really strange time because the US, on the one hand, wants to secure these trillions worth of minerals, and on the other hand is voting with Russia on international fronts like the UN Security Council. Even today, a Russian presidential envoy said to local press there that Washington and Moscow are keen to find joint economic projects and work together in the near future. Europe is very much aware of Trump's changing policy on the Ukraine war, and there is a lot of talk of fractured or even broken transatlantic ties. What a Europe without US backing would mean and look like. So I think if this deal does go through and the US does manage to provide Ukraine some security protection, Europe would view this favorably if it helps bring an end to this war. But on the topic of Donald Trump aligning himself with Vladimir Putin, this is extremely concerning to the EU.
Okay, thank you, Vardha, for all those updates. Vardha Imran reporting from DW Berlin. On to the US now. President Donald Trump will host the first official cabinet meeting at the White House on Wednesday. This will be Trump's first full cabinet gathering since returning to the White House for the second term. Presidential advisor Elon Musk will also be present at Donald Trump's first official cabinet meeting on Wednesday. Musk has no ministerial portfolio or formal decision-making authority, but has status as a special government employee and a senior advisor to the president. He's heading the Department of Government Efficiency, tasked by the president with slashing federal spending. Further, US President Donald Trump has proposed replacing the existing investor visa program with a new gold card that would offer a path to citizenship for $5 million. Speaking to reporters, Trump said he plans to replace the EB-5 immigrant investor visa, which grants green cards to foreigners investing in US businesses, with the gold card system. The current EB-5 program allows foreign investors to gain permanent residency by creating or preserving US jobs.
EB-5 program was really, you lend some money, but it was full of nonsense, make-believe and fraud, and it was a way to get a green card that was low priced. So the president said, rather than having this sort of ridiculous EB-5 program, we're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card, which is really a green card gold. So they'll be able to pay $5 million to the U.S. government. They'll have to go through vetting, of course. We're going to make sure they're wonderful, world-class global citizens.
You're watching DD India Live, still to come on this show. Urging aid for poorer countries, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa calls on the G20 leaders to focus on inclusive growth. And it's the final holy bath or snan at the Mahakumbh today. Millions of devotees reach Prayagraj to take dip at the three-river confluence of Triveni Sangam.
Mahakumbh 2025, where we take you on a journey through the largest spiritual gathering on earth. From the digital Mahakumbh Experience Center to the community kitchens serving millions.
This is kind of laying the path away how next Kumbhs can be done.
As far as this Mahakumbh and economy is concerned, so all of the development that have happened are not temporary. So they are going to be permanent structures. They are going to boost the economy of Prayagraj, of Uttar Pradesh.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Tanvi Taneja. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa kicked off a gathering of the group of 20 top economies in South Africa on Wednesday. Urging aid for poorer countries, Ramaphosa called on the G20 leaders for coordinated efforts to focus on inclusive growth that is based on responsive trade and investments.
G20, we need deliberate and coordinated efforts to focus on inclusive growth based on responsive trade and investment to grow the incomes of poor nations and the poorest in society.
Taiwan has sent forces on Wednesday in response to China's live fire drills of the self-ruled island. Taipei's defense ministry said, condemning the exercises as dangerous. According to Taipei's defense ministry, China deployed 32 aircraft near Taiwan as part of a joint combat drill with Chinese warships and announced live fire exercises in an area about 40 nautical miles off the island's south. Taiwan's military responded by sending sea, air and land forces to monitor, alert and respond appropriately. The ministry further said that China's People's Liberation Army has blatantly violated international norms by unilaterally designing a drill zone 40 nm off the coast of Kaohsiung and Pinggung, claiming to conduct live-fire exercises without prior warning. UN Under-Secretary General for Peace Operations, Jean-Pierre Lacroix, has expressed his gratitude to India and other nations that are contributing troops to the UN mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo following the death of 3 peacekeepers last week. Jean-Pierre is expected to leave for Congo after his visit to India. India has over 1,114 troops and 160 police personnel deployed in the Congo region.
India is an important country and an important troop contributing countries. Now, on the other hand, of course, we do everything possible to make sure that our peacekeepers are safe. And we've been working on camp protection and strengthening the measures so that, the camps would be guaranteed, the best possible protection. And of course, we are monitoring very, very regularly the condition there. And by the way, this is one of the key reasons why I'm going there, to make sure that at least we do everything possible to ensure the safety and security of our peacekeepers. But I really want to pay tribute to all of them, that include the Indian peacekeepers, because yes, it is challenging, but they are, as I said, they're standing the ground and it's highly appreciated.
February 26th marks the anniversary of the Balakot airstrike, a defining moment in India's modern military history. It was on this day in 2019 that the Indian Air Force, IAF, launched a precision strike deep inside Pakistan, targeting terror camps in Balakot. This was in response to the Pulwama terror attack in which 40 CRPF personnel were martyred. As the clock struck midnight on February 25th, a squadron of Mirage 2000 fighter jets, armed with precision-guided bombs, took off from Indian air bases. Flying at high altitudes, the jets crossed into Pakistani airspace undetected. Their target, a Jaish-e-Mohammed training camp nestled in the hills of Balakot. Around exactly 3:30 a.m. on February 26th, the aircraft released their payload, obliterating the terror facility in a matter of seconds. The mission lasted less than 20 minutes, and before Pakistan's air defences could react, the Indian jets had already returned safely. As dawn broke, news of the successful airstrike spread across India, igniting a wave of patriotism and unity. People took to the streets, waving the tricolour and celebrating the bravery of the Indian Air Force pilots. The Indian government confirmed the operation, emphasizing that it was a non-military preemptive strike aimed solely at eliminating terror threats. As the country observes the Balakot anniversary, the message remains clear that India's fight against terrorism is unwavering and its spirit unbreakable. India's journey towards becoming a developed nation is firmly rooted in its development of states. Under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, the vision of a Viksit Bharat or developed India is not just about policies, but is also about fostering healthy competition among the states. By empowering the states to attract investments, the government is paving way for economic prosperity across the nation. Take a look at how Prime Minister Modi's focus on cooperative federalism is shaping the future of Indian states.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Viksit Bharat or a developed India is only possible with the strong participation of states, which is why he has been emphasizing healthy competition among states and has formally implemented the policy of cooperative federalism. Believing that the development of states leads to development of the nation, Prime Minister Modi encourages states to attract maximum investment and provides the right guidance for it. A reflection of this can be seen at the Advantage Assam 2.0 Investment and Infrastructure Summit in Guwahati. The summit focuses on the state's industrial development, global trade partnerships, rapidly growing industries, and a vibrant MSME sector.
हम मेक इन इंडिया के तहत लो कॉस्ट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं। फार्मास्यूटिकल्स, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, ऑटोमोबाइल, हमारी इंडस्ट्री ना सिर्फ डोमेस्टिक डिमांड्स को पूरा कर रही है, बल्कि इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में भी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एक्सेलेंस के नए बेंचमार्क बना रही है.
Earlier in 2018, PM Modi participated in the Global Investors Summit held in Guwahati, where he stated that the Northeast is at the core of the central government's Act East policy. Earlier, Prime Minister Modi attended the Global Investors Summit held in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. He stated that with its strong talent pool and thriving industries, Madhya Pradesh is becoming a preferred business destination.
यही समय है, सही समय है आपके लिए एमपी में इन्वेस्टमेंट करने और इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ाने का भी यही सही समय है.
PM Modi had also participated in the Global Investors Summit in Madhya Pradesh in 2014, which was attended by the country's top industrialists. Representatives from 6 partner countries also took part in the event. Earlier this year in January, PM Modi inaugurated Utkarsh Odisha Make in Odisha conclave in Bhubaneswar. During the 2-day business summit organized by the Odisha government, 145 MOUs for proposed investment to the tune of 12.89 lakh crore rupees were signed, which are expected to create 8.94 lakh jobs. PM Modi has emphasized identifying strengths of each state and attracting investment in those areas. In December last year, he participated in the Rising Rajasthan Global Investment Summit, where he said that by following the mantra of reform, perform, transform, India has achieved growth in every sector. PM Modi started the tradition of setting new benchmarks for development by promoting entrepreneurship during his tenure as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. Even the Vibrant Gujarat initiative was launched at his behest. Last year in January, he inaugurated the 10th summit, which focused on green energy and global partnerships. World leaders and CEOs participated in the event. Later that year, in September, PM Modi also inaugurated the 4th Global Renewable Energy Investors Meet and Expo, Reinvest. Earlier, PM Modi contributed to strengthening Gujarat's investment environment in 2015, 2017, 2019, 2021 and 2022. In 2021 and 2022, he participated in the event virtually. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, he highlighted the factors that helped promote Gujarat's economic policies. PM Modi has also ensured that the hill states of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh do not lag behind in national development. He participated in investor summits in Dehradun in 2018 and 2023 and in Dharamshala in 2019. During these events, he mentioned that India has improved its ease of doing business ranking. The government is making decisions after fully understanding the ground-level needs of industries, PM Modi said. Focusing on the development of southern states, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated Karnataka's Global Investors Meet, Invest, via video conferencing in 2022. He then discussed the global optimism towards India. Uttar Pradesh, the Indian state with largest population, had lagged behind on several development indicators under previous governments. However, after the formation of a BJP government, PM Modi participated in investment summits held in 2018 and 2023, which resulted in significant investments in the state. He emphasized that Uttar Pradesh is known for its rich cultural heritage, glorious history and prosperous legacy. Due to PM Modi's efforts, a competitive environment has emerged among states, leading many to set a target of achieving a $1 trillion economy. The investment-friendly atmosphere has also created numerous job opportunities, symbolizing prosperity for the common people. Bureau Report, DD India.
And the grand event of the Mahakumbh 2025, the world's largest religious gathering, is coming to an end on Wednesday on the occasion of Mahashivratri. Since its commencement on January 13th, more than 647.7 million devotees have taken the holy dip at Triveni Sangam, seeking divine blessings. Even on the final day, devotees continue to arrive in Prayagraj to be part of this sacred event before it ends. The coinciding of Mahashivratri festival today has further elevated the spiritual significance of the day as devotees worship Lord Shiva. Famous Shiva temples across India, including the Kashi Vishwanath, Mahakaleshwar and Kedarnath are witnessing massive footfalls, aligning with the culmination of this once-in-a-12 years event. On the occasion, the Indian Air Force conducted an air show over the Triveni Sangam on the last Amrit Snan, celebrating the conclusion of the 45-day-long event. So that's all for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles at DD India Live. And for those on the go, you can catch all the latest news and updates on our DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja. From all of us here in New Delhi, thank you for watching. Namaskar.